Here's a powerful emotional story about a wolf and a human. The snow fell silently over the forest, covering everything in a soft white blanket. The world seemed frozen in time, untouched and quiet. Deep within the forest, a lone wolf moved carefully between the trees, its grey fur dusted with snow, its sharp eyes scanning for danger. The wolf had been alone for a long time. Once, it had a pack, a family that hunted, played, and survived together. But one harsh winter changed everything. Food became scarce, fights broke out, and one by one, the pack disappeared. Some died, some left. The wolf stayed, waiting, but no one came back. Now it walked alone. One evening, as the sky turned dark blue and the cold deepened, the wolf caught a strange scent. It froze. This was not deer, not rabbit, something different. Human. The wolf's body tensed. Humans meant danger. Loud noises. Fire. Death. Slowly, silently, it crept closer. Through the trees, it saw a man lying in the snow. He wasn't moving. His clothes were torn, his face pale, and his breathing weak. A faint trail of blood marked the snow behind him. The wolf watched carefully, ready to run. But the man did not move. The wolf stepped closer, then closer again. Its instincts screamed to leave. Humans had always been enemies. But something else stirred inside it, something unfamiliar. The man made a faint sound, barely a whisper. The wolf flinched, but didn't run. It circled the man, sniffing cautiously. He was cold, freezing. If he stayed here, he would die before morning. The wolf stepped back. It could leave. Walk away. Let nature take its course. That's what wolves did. But instead, it lay down beside him. The warmth of the wolf's body slowly spread into the man. The wind howled through the trees, but the wolf stayed, its body curled protectively around him. Hours passed. At some point during the night, the man stirred. His eyes opened weakly, and for a moment, he thought he was dreaming. A wolf, right beside him. Fear shot through his body, but he was too weak to move. The wolf raised its head, its golden eyes meeting his. They stared at each other. No growl. No attack. Just silence. The man swallowed. "Why?" he whispered, his voice shaking. The wolf didn't answer. It simply stayed. Morning came slowly, bringing pale light through the trees. The storm had passed. The man had regained just enough strength to move. Carefully, slowly, he sat up. The wolf stood as well, stepping back but not leaving. The man looked at it, really looked at it. This creature, which should have been his enemy, had saved his life. He took a shaky breath. "You stayed." The wolf tilted its head slightly, as if listening. The man tried to stand, but stumbled. Instantly, the wolf stepped forward, steadying itself beside him. Not touching, but close enough. Together, they began to move. Step by step, through the snow. The man didn't know where he was going. But the wolf seemed to. It led him through the forest, choosing paths that avoided deep snow and hidden dangers. Whenever the man fell, the wolf stopped and waited. Hours passed. Finally, they reached the edge of the forest. In the distance, faint smoke rose into the sky, a village. The man's eyes filled with relief. He turned to the wolf. "This is where I go." The wolf stopped. They stood there for a long moment, facing each other. The man wanted to say something more. Thank you didn't feel like enough. Slowly, he reached out his hand. The wolf hesitated, then stepped forward. For just a moment, its cold nose touched his hand. A silent goodbye. Then, without another look, the wolf turned and disappeared back into the forest. The man watched until it was gone. Years passed. The man returned to his life, but he was never the same. He no longer hunted wolves. In fact, he protected them, telling anyone who would listen that they were not mindless beasts, that they could feel, choose, and even show mercy. But most people didn't believe him. One winter, many years later, the man returned to the forest. He was older now, slower, but determined. He walked deep into the trees, to the place where his life had changed forever. Snow began to fall again. He stood there for hours. "Are you still here?" he called softly. The forest remained silent. Then, a sound. A soft crunch of snow. The man turned. From between the trees, a wolf stepped out. Older. Slower. its fur now streaked with white. But those eyes. The same. The man smiled, his eyes filling with tears. I hoped. It was you. The wolf approached slowly, cautiously. Time had passed, but something remained. Something unbroken. They stood together again, just like before. No fear. No words. Just understanding. In a world where humans and wolves were meant to be enemies, they had chosen something different. And that choice had changed both of them forever. If you want, I can write a sadder version, a love or fantasy version, or even turn this into a longer 3-part novel-style story.